Hey guys, so I am here to do the other tag that's going around. I think it was started by Kelly Girl, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is the tag of Reborn dolls and your family. So I guess what it's just asking is, like how does your family feel about the Reborn dolls? So first off, I will say that if you watched my last tag video about what doll collecting means to me, and I kind of told you a little bit how I started collecting as an adult, which was by buying an electronic neonate. So when I first bought that electronic neonate doll, I didn't tell my mom that I was buying it because I was working my summer job. I saved up my own money and I bought it. And I opened it by myself in my bedroom. And I was really nervous to show my mom because I wasn't sure what she would think of it. Because I think I was, hi Riley, every time. I think I was 19 or 20 or somewhere around there, maybe 20, 21. It's hard for me to remember how old I was when I got it, but it was somewhere around there. And I was like, I didn't know how she would feel about it because my initial thought was, this is like, so cool. It's like one of those parenting dolls. It's similar to one of those parenting dolls that you get in school that you have to take everywhere. And I just thought that's what I was going to do. That was my plan. This was going to be my baby. I was going to take it everywhere. Family gatherings, like I had this whole envisionment of what this baby was going to be, and my mom saw it and she thought it was weird. She was like, why do you want this? Like, you're an adult now. Oh, why do you want to be playing with dolls? Why do you want to take it out? Do you want people to think you're a teen mom? Like, what are you going to say if they realize it's not a doll, blah blah blah. And I mean, I had the plan that I was going to take it out, and if anyone asked, I was going to say I was doing a parenting class and I had this baby. But no, like, my mom was weirded out by it. She thought it was strange. She thought there was something wrong with me. She just didn't accept it at the beginning. And as I started buying clothes for my baby, and then next thing you know, a couple of years later, I bought my first Ashton Drake baby. Well, actually, no, I didn't buy my first Ashton Drake baby. It was a gift to me from my dad. I asked him for Christmas, but, and then she did really like that Ashton Drake doll. That was the Jasmine Goes to Grandma. She did like that doll, and she carried it across the hallway. I think she liked it because it looked more realistic than the electronic neonate. But she still wasn't like, she was like, why are you buying all these baby clothes, blah, 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 you're wasting your money, and all this stuff. And so she just really did not get it until I moved out, pretty much. So backtracking a bit, my friend Denise actually really liked it. She ended up getting a neonate for herself for a while, and we used to take them out to the mall sometimes and have lots of fun and whatever. And then she had some things happen where I don't even remember, I think there was a move that happened and somehow the baby got misplaced, and she just never continued with the hobby after that. But, my other friends thought I was like a little bit weird, but they didn't really bug me about it. They were like, whatever makes you happy, whatever, And I didn't tell anyone else in my family, just based solely on my mom's reaction. I thought for sure my grandma was going to have a bad reaction about it, because every time I even mentioned that I still like the Backstreet Boys, she's like, aren't you getting too old for that? And I was thinking to myself, like, how am I too old to have a favorite singer? Like, it's music. Like, I didn't understand that concept. But I'm a Backstreet Boy fan for life. Anyways, so I didn't say anything to her either. I didn't tell my family. So it ended up being not what I envisioned. I did not bring my babies to family gatherings and dress them up and all this fun stuff. And I met Alex, and then I was really, really nervous about telling Alex, because I think at the time that I met Alex, I don't think I had any Ashton Drakes yet. I just had my electronic neonate at that point. I had her a little over a year. And so I think we were dating about a month when I finally told him. And he was totally cool with it. He's like, you know what? He's like, if it makes you happy, who cares what other people think? And, you know, a couple of times he let me bring one with me to the mall to go and pick out an outfit for her. We went to like this gardens once and did pictures and stuff. And it was cool and whatever. And so then, you know, I started to get the Ashton Drake dolls for a while there. I had 3. So I think when I moved out, I had 3 Ashton Drake dolls and I had my electronic neonate. So we moved into here, and it was so nice to finally have more space to store my baby clothes and everything like that. And so, yeah, Alex has always been supportive. And then, of course, I got into making them. And it was once I started making them that my mom came around. And she was like, wow, these Reborn dolls are so realistic. And you're doing such a good job making them. And I think just the fact that I was making money by selling them, she thought that was cool. So then she started to come around a little bit on the Reborns, but I think she still thought the collecting part was kind of odd in me, you know, role playing and what have you. And then I think it was like a year or 2 after I started reborning. I think it was about a year after I started reborning. I had my grandmother and my mom come over here for dinner one day. And this was the first time that my grandma saw my dolls. And I was so nervous about her reaction, but she loved them. She was blown away by the realism. She thought it was great. And ever since then, she always likes to see any new dolls that I finish making. She likes to see new dolls that I get. Although now she seems to be bugging me again. Like, now, like, because she feels like I have too many, and so when I get a new one, she's like, another new one? Wow, you're spending a lot of money on this hobby or whatever. But generally, she likes them. She thinks they're really cute. And she likes to cuddle them, and she even talks to them sometimes and stuff. So she's cool about it, which is great. So over time, you know, through Facebook, my whole family has come to know about my hobby. And, you know, some of them find it weird. My aunt kind of finds the dolls a little bit creepy because they're so realistic. But she has never said anything, like, mean about them to me. Like, she's never said, like, there's something wrong with you or whatever. But I still feel like I can't do what I would really love to do, which is, like, kind of what Compassion does with her babies. She takes them everywhere and they are her children. Even though she knows that they're not real, she treats them as though they're real. And I would love to do that. I'd love to be able to pick a baby from my collection for the day and just, you know, interact with that doll like as if it was real. And so if we were going shopping, take it shopping. If we're going to visit family, say we're like going to Thanksgiving dinner, I could dress the baby up for Thanksgiving and bring the baby with me. I'd love to be able to take the babies on outings more. It's weird. I used to take the babies out. Like one time I took a doll that I made to Carter's to try and find outfits for it to sell. And, you know, Alex came with me, but I could tell that he felt a little uncomfortable. And then I've taken some babies out in the stroller to like Canada Day things, or I don't know, I can't remember where else, but I've taken them like a couple times, and I could tell that he wasn't really comfortable with it, but he always had told me he was fine with my collection. Like, he totally supports my hobby because he knows that they help me and he knows that I enjoy it. And he says, you know, do what I love and, you know, don't care what other people think. But then on the flip side, last year I was wanting to bring a baby to St. Mary's for the weekend, like for when we were going to our anniversary weekend because I just thought it would be fun to bring a baby. And I mean, I still did. He let me bring one in the doll bag, and I could play with it in our hotel room. But he flat out told me that year that he just did not feel, he's like, I've been wanting to tell you for a while, but I didn't know how to say it because I didn't want to, like, hurt you. But he's like, I really don't feel comfortable being with you and the babies in public, like taking them out. He's like, I'm fine with you having them here at the house and whatever, but he's uncomfortable being with me taking them out, which is really disappointing to me because for me, like I said in my previous video, I don't really know at this point if we are ever going to have a real child. I just don't know if it's in the cards for us with my health and everything. And so if that comes to be the case, that we don't have a child, I need to fulfill that mothering instinct with my babies, and I don't like having limits on it. I don't like having to just do it at home. I want to be able to take my baby to Canada Day celebration and sit down on the grass and hold my baby on my lap and enjoy the stuff with my husband as well. Like, and I know that there's a lot of women out there in the community whose husbands are great when it comes to doing that. They have no problem, you know, going out in public, and they have just as much fun with it. And so I just, it's like, he does support me. He doesn't care how many dolls I buy. Like, he's like, go ahead, do whatever you want. It's your money and stuff like that. But when it comes to being out in public, he's uncomfortable with that. So it kind of sucks, but at the same time, I feel like I can't force the hobby on anyone. You can't force anyone to like the dolls. You can't force anyone to feel comfortable. You know, I guess what it is he doesn't like if people come up and ask a question, or if he might happen to see someone staring that's realizing I have a doll or whatever. And so, you know, I have to respect that. Like, at least he accepts the hobby enough that I can have this hobby. It just kind of sucks that I have to have limitations on it. That's the only thing. I mean, yes, I can take my babies out by myself or with a doll friend, but it's something that doesn't happen enough because for me, I don't drive. So I'm limited as to where I can take my babies because I have to be able to go on the bus or subway. And not all buses and not all subway stations are accessible yet to get strollers or things like that on there. So it limits me as to where I can take my babies. And I don't always want to go and do that by myself. I don't want to take them by myself. And my dolly friends are not always available to do these types of things. But, you know, like just something as simple as, I don't know, going to the beach and just sitting down by the water or sitting down and listening to some live entertainment on Canada Day. It would be so awesome to be able to have a baby with me, because these are things that I picture, you know, if Alex and I had a real child, these are things that I would want to do with our real child. I'd want to go to the maple syrup festival, for example, or go to the pumpkin patch and, you know, all that stuff. But it's like, if I was to go to those places by myself, just with Alex and I think I'd feel really depressed because there's all these people that have kids and I don't have that. So yeah, anyways, I know this was like a long-winded answer, but basically the main thing to realize is that generally my family all around has come to accept my hobby and are understanding about it and support me in it. They may not get it. They may not completely understand it, and they would never collect the dolls themselves, but they support me. So, and I think that's really what it's about. You can't force anyone to like your hobby. You can't force anyone to join in with your hobby if it's not their thing. But I think, as with any hobby, just be supportive of one another. That's what being family is. That's what being a friend is. Just support each other in what makes each other happy. And yeah, I mean, everyone should be free to enjoy whatever hobby they want, so long as it's not causing any harm to themselves or other people. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as it makes you happy and is a way for you to de-stress, then so be it. I don't care. I mean, be it video games, collecting cars, collecting stamps, collecting dolls. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. And I think it's just, that's what it needs to be about. Just supporting one another in whatever. And even if you don't get it or understand it, you know, instead of sitting there and saying, oh my gosh, is there something mentally wrong with you? Why are you doing this? You're an adult. What's the deal? Why are you spending all this money on dolls? Blah, blah, blah. You have a problem. No, just say, that's cool. You know, it's not my thing, but if it makes you happy, go for it. That's what being a supportive family member and friend is. Like I mentioned before in my videos, like some of my high school friends, one of my high school friends, I think like 2 Christmases ago, bought me a couple of outfits for my babies for Christmas. And I mean, she's not a doll collector. She's not into the dolls. She thinks they look amazing. She's blown away by the realism, and especially the ones that I make. She's like, I can't believe you can do that. It's amazing. But she wouldn't collect them herself. But the fact that she bought me some outfits for my baby when she's not even in a hobby, that's showing support. That's showing, hey, I realize this hobby means a lot to you, so here's something for your babies. Like, I think that's really sweet. So yeah, so I'm really lucky in that, you know, I do have supportive family and friends and husband and all that good stuff. I mean, like I said, it took a while for me to tell my family because my mom initially did not accept it and was dead against it and felt negatively about it. But after she went with me to the Down East Doll Show, her whole viewpoint changed even more. I mean, she was already changing at that point, but when she sat there in that baby shower that we had, and everyone went around the room and talked about why they collect or how they got into collecting, and she heard all the different scenarios and stories, and she realized, like, hey, you know what? There's hundreds and thousands of women around the world that do the same thing my daughter does. And, you know, when my mom spoke and introduced herself as my mom, and she said, you know, she started to cry. She's like, I feel bad because I didn't understand it at the beginning. I was going in my daughter's room and seeing her buying more and more baby clothes, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's wrong? What's going on? Why does she think these babies are real? And I'm like, I never thought they were real. I know they're dolls, but you know, she's like, now I see, now I understand. And she's like, I'm really sorry. Like, she apologized to me at how she initially reacted, and she goes, this has been an eye-opener for me. And she loved that doll show. She was hesitant to go with me to the doll show. She wasn't sure she would enjoy it. And oh my God, I swear, I think she enjoyed it more than I did. We were there for 2 full days. I couldn't drag her away. So her viewpoint really, really changed. And so she loves all my babies. She's so happy when I get new ones, and they're beautiful. Like, she loves Landon. She can't wait to see him in person. So it's good. It's good. I mean, it takes time, I think, for some people. Like, some people will be accepting right away. But like my mom, for example, it took her years to come around. But she finally did. And once she did, the rest of the family, I let them in on it, and they were great. And Alex's family is supportive. His stepmom loves seeing any new dolls that I make. So yeah, it's been a good, positive experience, with the exception of the fact that I have a little bit of limitations on taking the babies out. But what can you do? At least I'm accepted. I mean, at least I'm supported in this hobby. So anyways, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tag. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you want to take part in the tag too, make a video and let us know how your family and friends feel about your Reborn dolls. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. I'm here to quickly do this Confessions of a Reborn Mom tag that was started by, I believe it was Mia's Dolls and Fun. I hope I have that right. So there are 6 questions, and I'm just gonna dive into it super quick because I have to head out to work soon and I still haven't gotten out of my pajamas. So anyways, the first question is,